All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to PassionPod. I'm Lauren, the Director of Development.
I'm Allie. I'm the Director of Marketing and PR.
And I'm Tosca. I'm the founder and CEO of Passionflix. Very nice to be here.
Yeah, good to be here too. I know it's been a little bit, but it's good to be doing another one of these with you ladies. Tosca, can you let us know where we might be right now?
Yeah, well, we decided to head on out to quarantine together in Montana. So, we've all been working so hard in Los Angeles, but separated in these, during isolation. And so, and it's hard, it's really hard to be separated from people that you love so much and that you work so closely with. And so I thought, well, let's all go away and just live in a cabin in the woods in Montana and do some team building and some thoughts about what we're going to do for Passionflix over the next 18 months and discuss, all the exciting things that we have going on, but really be able to work together while quarantining together in the wilderness. Literally nothing is around us except for bears and mountain lions, and we saw a mountain lion and it was scary.
And moose. We saw a
moose. We did. We saw a moose too. Yeah.
When did you see a moose?
On our horse ride yesterday, Allie, that you can join. Yeah.
But when you go for walks here, you have to go in groups and you have to talk very loudly all the time so that the animals can be scared off, so that they don't, you don't accidentally bump into a bear. And what they're saying is, like, we're so blessed with the abundance of brown bears and grizzly bears. And I'm like, what? So we're walking around and we're like, hey, bear. Hey, bear.
Yeah.
And that's our conversation as we walk in the woods. So
she's not kidding. She actually says, hey, bear, many times.
And funny enough, the horse I rode yesterday was.
And Allie walks around, but Allie walks around with bear spray.
Yes,
just in case.
You're required.
I'm so scared to use it, but I do carry it.
It's awesome.
So, so we're here in Montana, and we're reading, and we got to meet Kristen Proby because she lives here in Montana, and we're coming up, we're writing scripts, we're reading books, we're just enjoying some time together and coming up with plans. So I'm very excited that all the ladies joined me up here.
Yeah, seriously, thanks again for having us, T, because it's been a really cool opportunity to get out of LA and just
been pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Should we tell everyone what we watched last night?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So we're chatting outside for our afternoon glass of wine, and we decided, every night we want to watch a new movie so that we can be inspired. And so we were talking about something else, but then 50 Shades of Grey came up, of course. And Lauren says, I've never seen the movie. Can you believe that? Lauren.
It's so bad. I know.
Right then and there, our relationship ended.
She didn't say it at first. You could just tell when you looked over at her, and she had this kind of, she was holding a secret in, and we called her on it.
Yep. I read
so we immediately
books. I just never got around to the movies, but we watched it last night and it was so good. I really enjoyed it.
It's so good.
It was great. And right after the first one ended, she's like, oh my God, we have to watch the next one. But then it was really late. So that's what we're watching tonight.
Yes, we're watching. Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah.
And what was so funny is that I saw a picture of my brother talking to Christian Grey in one of the screenshots when Anna is researching him. There's a shot of Christian Grey talking to my brother, and I was like, "What? My brother knows him?
So
That's
funny.
cool."
Oh my God. Yeah. No, it was just fun to watch, like, one of the classic romance novel adaptations with you ladies, in terms of, like, it kind of jump started what we were doing here. So that was really cool. Yeah. Fun to watch with you guys for the first time, for sure.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Absolutely. So much fun. And of course, we owe so much to E.L. James in inspiring us to really be open about romance novels and our love for them, and sort of breaking that barrier, I guess, of communication, making it more accessible. So
yeah, it was finally out.
I'm very glad
people had to talk about it. Yeah,
exactly.
It was great.
Very glad that you got to watch it last night. I look forward to watching the other two, and then through the weekend and next week we'll watch some Passionflix movies as well. Because one of the things that we discussed was how while we make all these movies, which in 2.5 years has been pretty great, we actually don't. We work so fast, and so we're so busy that we never actually get to go back and watch any of our movies again. And so I'm excited for us to watch our movies again over and over again.
Me too.
That'll be really awesome. And I know I've had some time to do some reading up here, which has been exciting. But we also have quite a few books that I optioned before coming out here that we'll be announcing next week, I think, Allie. Yeah. And if Tosca,
Lauren got some good ones for everyone.
Tosca, can I share what I'm currently reading?
Yeah.
Cool. I just started reading Lick by Kylie Scott, which is the first of her Stage Dive series. I don't know if any of you guys were watching on Instagram, but we had a little back and forth with her. So I reached out and she sent us some copies, and I'm loving it so far. And I'm like, oh man, how did I not get on this craze sooner? So that's exciting. So that we'll see what happens.
Great. I'm jumping on that bandwagon tomorrow then.
Yes.
That sounds like a very nice Saturday read.
Yes, it's a great Saturday read. It'll pull you right in.
Yeah.
And Allie, how have you been doing?
Good. Leading up to part 2 has been pretty awesome. I mean, it's really fun to watch our Passionflix community grow so much. And you've seen we've reposted some of it, but we've gotten some incredible fan art and different videos, TikToks, all of it. It's so fun to watch our community getting creative and having fun with it. And just, again, it's really fun to watch, mostly because we talk about it at Passionflix. We kind of joke around that we're of different generations. So Lauren's in her 20s, I'm in my 30s, Tosca's in her 40s, and Margie, our editor's in her 50s. And the Passionflix subscribers, I mean, we have from 18 to 99, literally, we have everyone. So it's really fun to see more and more fans coming out from different countries, completely different backgrounds, and we're having a blast with it. So thank you for all the love and support. We try to repost as much as we can, but we are still a 4-person company, so it's hard. So if we don't get all of your messages, please know that we love you and we appreciate everything you're doing to help us spread the word of Passionflix. But thank you for helping us build this incredibly fun, supportive, and loyal community, because we're having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on that, I am just from all of the fans that create artwork or these little spoofs and these TikToks. And by the way, I'm clueless when it comes to TikTok. I actually have to ask my mother. She's very good at it. But I mean, they're hilarious, and they help spread the word to different people that would never have heard about Passionflix because they wouldn't necessarily be within our communities. And I'm just so grateful to everyone for being so positive and supportive. And I mean, the artwork that's coming out, the drawings, the as we mentioned, the TikToks, but the little videos, the every little bit that comes out that's created by our fans. I mean, we're so grateful for, and I'm so grateful to all of you for being so supportive and loving, and encouraging them to continue. It means everything, because that's what we're here for, to promote love and support of women and men, occasionally, but definitely love and support.
I've also, I love the community's really, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no,
I was just saying, I love that I keep getting more and more book recommendations. So even especially over the last few weeks, I think as we've gotten more and more fans and subscribers, I've gotten so many book recommendations that are incredible, really good. I'm excited about them. So I love that we're all sharing and getting each other involved with our different favorites.
Yeah,
it's great. It also makes us so different from anybody else, right? It makes us so different from every other company out there, is that we have this massive fan support, and that's why we ask all of our fans for their input in actors and books and all these sorts of things, and it just makes us so different, and I think uniquely better in many ways than some other companies out there.
Yeah, they kind of have a direct line to us, and we see every comment, we see every message, we see and try to respond to every email, but we do see them all, and it's really cool to see what they're getting excited about, and stuff that we should tune into that we didn't notice before. It's just great that we can have that instant feedback from people. It's really cool.
Sure.
And
so on that, I guess we have to start talking about what our year is going to be looking like.
Yes, exactly. Would you mind talking a little bit about some of the movies that we've had to postpone due to COVID?
Yes. Well, we were, the first one up on the slate was Wicked. We had everyone in Louisiana ready to start shooting, and then we had to cancel that or postpone it, obviously. And then we were supposed to shoot both Fueled and Crashed back to back in April and May, mostly April. And then we were going to be finishing up Rapture in June, but going to Italy and New York, and obviously that is not happening. And then in July, now we were supposed to be preparing This Man to film in July and August. That would have been finished shooting by the time we had PassionCon, which is now moved to May of next year. So no PassionCon this year, but May of next year, we're very excited to host. And then we were supposed to do a Man's Promise and Resisting Roots. Those were the ones that I off the top of my head, that I know that were all scheduled and people were attached to them, and scripts done and all that sort of stuff. And so unfortunately we were not able to do those, and now we have to try and see what we can film still for the rest of the year. We have weather issues to deal with. It's very difficult to shoot in New Orleans during hurricane season, but we're going to try, depending on COVID, of course. Filming in LA might be a little bit more realistic towards the end of the year. And so we might be able, our hope is that we'll be able to do Fueled and Crashed before the end of the year. We're looking at every possible option in the world, I'm saying, to shoot This Man. Because of course it's very specific. We need the very specific manor, and we can't build a manor, unfortunately. I would if I could. And also the weather. The weather is it plays a part, right? We don't want to do it in the middle of the raining winter of the UK. And so, we're looking everywhere to do This Man. But, A Man's Promise, we should be okay because it's Florida. I mean, okay weather-wise, but not COVID-wise, because that's obviously not a place we want to be in right now. So, I think at the end of the day, we're just sort of taking it almost day by day. We're ready. We are, our scripts are ready. Our financing is in place, which is always a key element. And as soon as we get any kind of go-ahead, we're going to go ahead. One of the things that we will be doing, though, in order to prepare ourselves for what filming in this environment would be like, is we will be shooting some quickies. So we can do quickies, we can shoot them in 2 days. So unlike a feature, which will take 3 to 6 weeks to film of intense 12-hour days. So if we can shoot something in 2 days and have a limited number of people around us, 20 people who've all been tested, then I think the actors will feel a lot more comfortable. The unions will allow us to proceed. Right now, the unions are not going to allow us to film anything because our actors come in close contact with each other.
Right.
I don't know how to shoot a romance without people touching. it'd be weird for me. So, but yeah, but we are gonna, we have a number of different projects that we have coming up. Ali and Lauren have worked really hard to find these projects and sort of place them out throughout the year. And so so we'll be shooting a bunch of quickies and testing out how it is to film with just within a shorter period of time. See how we feel risk-wise.
Yeah. Even though it's definitely going to be easier to film with a smaller crew like a quickie would take, we still have to see how the first one would go before we can super promise more. But the hope is to do as much as we can, because like you said, and it's also I bet you miss filming, T. I feel like that was one of your favorite parts.
I miss it so much. Yeah. I was just texting with Julio, our wonderful, Gabriel. I was texting with, he's filming again in Poland, so he's filming something else, and he just sent a picture of what it's like to be on set. And people are taking precautions, and they're being tested every week, but they haven't gotten rid of the virus, but they're not in the situation that we are right now. We're sort of where Italy was at the beginning of the year, I think. Yeah. So he was in lockdown for so many months, and now he's out, and I'm so jealous of seeing him on set. But we'll definitely, so we'll do a quickie soon, and then I'm excited about this holiday season, because we have, and I'm going to say stuff now, I'm not sure if Ali's announced anything, but basically we're doing, we're going to do a whole bunch of quickies, basically an anthology of Christmas quickies. That's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. So this is actually the perfect opportunity to present it. So we can do a number of our authors' short stories, and it's perfect for Christmas because it keeps it just that extra bubbly happiness around the holidays, and it's not too difficult for us to pull off.
Yeah. We also have some other exciting things coming up. We have some behind the scenes that we'll be sharing very soon, and some other fun things that we haven't announced quite yet. So I think we have a lot in store.
Definitely. Yeah. We're also going to be getting a lot more. We're getting our soundtrack for Gabriel's Inferno will also be coming.
Oh, people are going to lose their mind.
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm excited to have the soundtrack.
And so me too.
We're just gonna launch a couple of more songs, and then we're doing it.
I love. So, and speaking of Gabriel's Inferno, we have part 2 coming up very, very soon, July 31st, in fact. So don't you guys forget that. And I thought it'd be fun to talk about what scene we're looking forward to. What's the favorite scene everybody has? Mine is when they have their kind of first tussle back in the classroom. It's so good, and it's so funny and so well filmed. I think people will really enjoy it.
That is
it's pretty awesome. And Melanie said that was her favorite scene to film, I think.
Yeah. You could see Melanie come out. She's like, "Oh, I am strong now. You said I was a rabbit before. I am not a rabbit now." And she just came out. It was so fun.
Kills it. She kills it.
They're gonna love it.
Mine, I would have to say my favorite scenes are with Professor Payne, because I think Haviland came on and just owned the shit out of it. She owned the shit out of that role and just really did such an awesome job bringing Professor Payne to life. So that was what I loved the most.
Awesome. And it's so fun because she's so genuinely nice.
Nice.
She's so nice.
So well.
So big. Although I think that her inner self, like secret identity was like, ooh, that sounds like fun. Probably. My favorite scene was also the one that I was the most scared to direct, and that was after the seminar fight. So when they go back to Gabriel's office, and they tell me that you want me to get out, that line.
So good.
That was the scene that I was the most terrified to film, because it meant so much to me. It's such a big turning point in the book, and I just wanted it to be perfect. And so I really love how it turned out. It's really intense and fiery, and it's my favorite scene in the movie.
I love it.
So
And speaking of that scene, T, what is one difference that people will see between part 1 and part 2?
There's a lot of kissing.
Noise.
We call part 2 the kissing movie. There's a lot of kissing. So you found that there was not that much kissing in part 1. There's a lot of kissing in it. It's like kiss, kiss,
And by this point now, T, we've been able to watch all 3 parts as a group. We've watched them, and I love part 3, but I think some of my favorite parts are in part 2 because it's them getting to know each other, and you really draw that out, and it's so fun to watch. So I'm excited for everybody to lose their minds some more and then eagerly wait for part 3.
Part 2, the getting to know each other. I mean, you were saying that one of your favorite parts was that there's a montage in there that's
it's so cute.
They get to know each other. No, and it's a great song. Again, Matthew Barber comes back to part 2.
I love it.
That's great.
And can you remind me of how long this one is? Part 2?
It's 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Nice.
So it's long. Yeah. It's a feature length movie. So
great.
Feature length of kissing. Kiss, 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 kiss. It was funny because it was like my direction. I think some of the other actors have said this before. I think David Gregory said it about Dirty Sexy Saint. But it's the same thing I say to all of my actors. So when in doubt, when you're not sure what to do, just kiss. It'll be fine.
It's the best advice, because then you just get good shots of them kissing if they forget their lines. It's
all the time.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Good. So and part two is my favorite. I mean, part 3, we're just finishing the picture edit. So we it's going to take us a little while still to get that out. But and so I part 2 is always my go-to, is always my favorite part. But now as part 3 is starting to, develop, I'm like, oh, maybe part 3 is my favorite. SR said part 3 was great when they watched the rough cut. But part 2 is so good. Part 2 is the one that I watch when I need to take a break from work. I'm like, well, let's just turn on part 2. I'll just watch that.
Oh, I wanted to quickly hop in there. For those of you who don't know, and we've had a lot of questions about it, can we release these parts early, and how have we seen the parts of we're not watching complete part, we're not watching the final version of parts 2 or 3.
We're seeing them sound stuff. There's no composition sometimes music wise.
So we're not holding it back from you.
Yeah. We're not like ha 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 ha, they can't see it. It's still being finished.
Yeah. Right. So that's a very good note, Ali, because so while the picture has been cut together, the sound is not done. So everything that everyone's watching, the sound is all temporary. So even Melanie and Julio will be like, hey, we need to adjust a line. They'll just speak it into their phone and then send it to me, but it's not recorded properly. And so all of that has to be re-recorded and redone. And then the composer needs a couple of months really to compose all the music. There's a lot of music in part 2, part 3. And so the composer has to be able to spend time creating all this artwork and then coming back and forth with me and Margie, and then we give notes, and then they have to redo the music, and then we have to have songs written for part 3, and so when that all takes time, and we don't want to. Part 3 is really important. It's so beautiful when you get to the end, and you don't want to rush something and deliver something that's a lower quality, when you know that if you just took the time that's needed, it would be a much higher quality picture, and that's what this movie deserves, and so that's what we're going to do. So we don't have a date yet for when it's going to be released. We actually are just now starting to work on music and sound, and then there are a number of other things. Every time for Gabriel's Inferno, we do a lot of subtitles so that many people in different countries can watch it, and the subtitles take a long time too. So subtitles take 2 to 3 weeks each time you create subtitles, so that also adds time to the post-production process. So so just bear with us. Other companies make movies a little slower. They'll release 1 a year maybe, but we're trying, and we'll get it out, but we want it to be
We
great.
can tell them it's coming out this year, though, right?
Oh yes, it is coming out this year for sure. It'll be out this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
More to look forward to in all of this craziness. You will at some point have all of Gabriel's Inferno.
Yeah, you'll have it before, I would say, before the holidays.
Oh, that's awesome.
Whenever depending on the holidays that you celebrate, but yes.
Yeah.
And Allie, speaking of kind of like the craziness behind these movies and the excitement for it, do we have any more teasers coming before the premiere of part 2, or what's happening?
Yeah, we do.
Nice.
We have some good ones coming out.
Part 2 comes out next week.
No,
right?
it doesn't. Is
No,
it that fast?
No. 2 weeks from today. Yeah, the 31st.
2 weeks from today. So July 31st, 2 weeks from today. Don't give me a heart attack, Tosca.
Sorry. Yeah, we're also recording this on a Friday, so technically you were right in saying that for when people are going to listen to this episode.
You're right. Yeah.
Right. It's next week.
People listen to it.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yes. For everyone listening now, it'll be out next week, next Friday.
Tosca's being all nonchalant now. You're like, wait, no. and then
quarantine brain.
We have quarantine brain. It's insane. I'm amazed we get
it's
anything.
Montana brain.
Legitimately, during this entire process, Tosca and Margie have been carrying on as like the best they can in terms of, I feel like you've been the most normal out of the 4 of us. You guys have just been in the editing room, banging these guys out. Like nothing's really changed. Yeah, you and Margie. I'm like, poor Tosca hasn't really had a break.
No break. In fact, my kids are really mad at me because everybody else has been staying at home with their children, very difficulty, educating them, and I have still been working the same amount, and so my kids are like, how come you don't get to stay home?
Yeah.
Like, soon when this is done, but it's a little. During sound, it's going to be easier. This is the time. So when sound is being done, because I'm not the composer, I just give notes, and the composer will take a week to write like maybe 5 minutes of music and then come back to us. But so during that week, I have now time to, revisit all the screenplays and things that we're going to be working on coming back, and then prepping. So we're basically creating this in my mind, which I'll be sharing with you guys. But this sort of like flowing schedule of when movies can start, and as each month pushes into COVID, we see how we can just move each movie into a different slot and where it can fit in the next 18 months. So we have something really, I'm just so excited, and I'm thrilled with the projects that we have coming up and that we will be shooting in the next year, and they will be done, and we will find a way to make them. So just stick with us. But we have some great ones coming, really, really great movies. We have already done some wonderful ones, of course, but the movies that we have coming up, I'm just so excited about everything that's coming up. So I hope you're excited with us.
Yeah, it's really awesome. All right, cool. Do you guys have any last thing you want to say to our fans before we say goodbye?
Stay safe out there. Do what you need to do to protect yourself and your family. And this will end, and we will return to our wonderful society of seeing people and seeing our friends and families again. And hopefully we will take away from this strange time some wonderful things about community and staying in contact with people that are important to us. So I think that's the lesson that I'm taking away from this, is it's really important to spend time and see the people that are closest to you. So I hope you're doing that now, and I hope we remember it when this is over.
Yeah, I love that. Couldn't have said it better myself. All right, cool, ladies. Well, thank you again for this awesome Passion Pod, and we will catch up again soon. And if you
see you in the kitchen.
Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the YouTube spots below or on any of our social, and we'll try to get to them in the next session. Thanks, guys.
Bye.